Dudes, did you hear what Sony just did?
Yeah, I think everybody heard what Sony just did.
Let me. Seriously, I was kind of flabbergasted with how quickly, and I mean, we're doing it too, but how quickly everyone was getting videos out on Sony killing physical game production
You know, you and I
end of next year.
like you and I discussed this, but I'm like currently looking at PS3 games and stuff, and I'm like I have Folklore, and I'm gonna pull like I was gonna trade Folklore in and stuff. Like when I go to the shows, I'm gonna pull Folklore out. Like I'm gonna pull almost all my PS3 games out. I have Silent Hill, the HD collection sealed, and I'm gonna pull that out. And probably, actually, I have a list of like the PS3 games that I'm not even remotely going to just uh touch because it's crazy. It's crazy with like Lords of Shadows collection. I might as well just keep that. I have that in here, all my Super Nintendo stuff, like all the Kirby stuff, everything. I might as well just I might pull all of this.
What do you mean pull it?
I might not bring it with me.
You're saying that you might keep it, not get rid of it.
Yes, because I
So
have
hold on. You were planning on getting rid of it, and now you're not.
right, like just alone today, Folklore, because Sony announced this in the PS3, they're finally sunsetting, they're shutting down the store, and the Vita, they're shutting down they're shutting down the store for the Vita. I have a lot of Vita games, but I have a ton of PS3 games. I have like 2.5 shelves. Think I have over 150 PS3 games, but like I have two Folklore. Folklore, when I did this, was at $55. Right now, it's at 68.
What do you mean?
So
According to price charting,
according
or
to price charting and eBay sold listings, it's at 68 right now. One game that if anybody watches this, and I think you should definitely get a recommendation is Dragarden or Drakengard. I think
I'm not even sure
Drakengard,
that's English.
huh?
So I'm not even sure that's English.
Drakengard or Dragarden, whatever it is. For PS3, it's going way up, and I have all three of them, and it's going to be it's going to be an expensive PS3 game. Um, I've I've been watching this all day today, and my Instagram has blown up faster than anything. I've even put out like 3 videos on my Instagram just about this, just going through just whatever, like and me, having my wall of physical media here behind me and downstairs. Um, it's the thing is this: if they turn around and say that we are not including a disk drive for the system, that will kill GameStop and third party people.
Well, there's a reason why GameStop started going back and doing retro, and why they've expanded into doing Funko Pops and action figures and tradable card games and all these other things, because they knew that physical for consoles was limited. There's a limited time left for those things, because the time is coming, and at least for PlayStation, January 1st, 2028, they're not making new games. As I read that, physical disc production ending in January 2028 for the new games releasing on PlayStation consoles is the end of next year. That's it. They're not making games anymore. It's not like, because they didn't specify. Oh yeah, January 6th of 2028 is when we're shutting down the production facilities for games. I'm reading it as December 31st. No new games will be created. And I mean, it's good. They will start ramping down production all next year. So the number of games that they're even printing or making is going to trend down all next year.
See, the thing is, what I've noticed too is a lot of people have a problem with not owning the physical media. And
Less people care about that than you would think.
which is, I mean, it's true, but like what we saw with the 3DS has not gone down at all. The 3DS is huge.
It
With
doesn't mean that people aren't interested in it, but there's not enough people interested in it.
right, but look at the 3DS when Nintendo turned around and said we're going to be closing the 3DS store.
FOMO. That's all it
Exactly. Just people
was
went
FOMO.
crazy. PS3
But mostly
and
it's collectors. It's people. The thing is, if you haven't gotten the games that you wanted from the PlayStation Store, is it a game that you really wanted, or are you just going to buy it now because of FOMO or because you just want to be like, oh yeah, I want to get that.
but you got to understand too, there's a lot of stuff, like a lot of things that are gated on the PlayStation 3 and a lot of downloadable content that is gated on the PlayStation 3. There's George Romero's Call of the Dead, which is zombies for Call of Duty, which is highly regarded in the in the zombie genre of Call of Duty as like one of the best games that was ever made. Like that was one of the best maps that was ever made. And you
Okay.
can only do that by downloading that.
Okay.
And a lot of all those downloaded stuff is now all going to go, like you cannot be able
No,
to get contact to
no,
download that.
no, that's not. If they handle it like Xbox did for the 360, that stuff will still be downloadable if you already own it. I can go
I
and download. I haven't tried to re-download everything I ever bought on the Xbox, but I'm gonna say you can go and download 99% of everything that I bought on the Xbox 360.
I
And
mean
I
that
imagine Sony's gonna do the same thing. You're not gonna be able to buy it anymore, but you should be able to download it unless they've upgraded it so it's backwards compatible. Because for Xbox Series, and this is kind of off topic, but the Xbox Series, I can go and I can download 360 games that I bought. I can actually buy some 360 games and the DLC that they have made backwards compatible with the Xbox Series. Yeah. You'll still be able to download it if you own it, like LP said.
so we hope.
No, as long as you own, well, as long as you purchase the long-term rental license, you'll be able to download it. The thing is, you may not be able to, people that don't have it may not be able to buy it anymore unless it has some form of backwards compatibility. But the thing is, I'm not sure if you're just trying to say digital ownership is bad. Is that what you're getting at?
Who, me?
Yeah. Is that what you were trying to say with not
I
being able to
don't
download it anymore?
I digital ownership in that sense is, hey, I bought it. This is great. I'm good to go. I don't like. Now here's the thing with me. I've heard things where you have to sign a leasing agreement with Sony because you're buying the games and technically you're leasing the games from Sony.
That's pretty much every digital format for everything.
Now
You do not
here's
own the games unless you can
now
get a DRM free copy,
now
like
here's
with
another
good old
thing.
games
Here's something else that we should also
digitally.
mention. We should also mention too with Sony, since we're under the umbrella of Sony now. Sony is pulling 350 to 1,000 movies off of whatever services or
Yep.
whatever media platforms that they own. So they're
Just like they did
pulling.
with Discover.
Yes, yes,
It's all licensing issues.
right. So I went today and I said let me look at National Geographic because I remember a show that I used to watch called Snake City, and I loved watching this guy, catch black mambas.
Yeah, get to the point, please.
Oh my God, you pain in the so he went and I loved the show. I went on, and apparently now, since Disney bought over National Geographic and it left Discover, I don't own all of the my license for Snake City anymore.
Yep.
Now I have to buy it off of, and
Was it
it's
Amazon or whatever? But see, that's the thing is why people say digital ownership isn't ownership.
it's not.
That's why I call it. It's a long term rental.
It's a long
But
term
you have
lease.
no idea how long that rental is going to last.
Yes, that's true. That's true. I
You're
mean,
trading ownership for convenience and sometimes a cheaper price.
this is why today, like I said, with all this announcement, I went to the storage locker and I pulled out the Hitachi with the VCR, and I'm going to 3D print a blockbuster standable, put it in the corner, I put all my VHS tapes and collect VHS tapes because this is it's crazy. It's just it's completely
Okay.
crazy
What do you think
what's
is
going on.
crazy?
It's the matter of like you don't so you don't own the physical media anymore.
Well, there
And
won't be physical media, and that's
so
the issue. Is there will not be physical media. You will not own your games anymore. And I mean, we all knew this was coming. We don't like it, but we knew it was coming. And if you paid attention, you should have known it was coming since PC games went basically all digital well over a decade ago.
that's true.
It doesn't mean you have to be happy about it, but like this is nothing new. We knew it was coming. I mean, hell, when we see the digital storefronts for the different consoles shut down, and Sony has lost the licensing to stuff that they had previously, it's like, oh well, we um, can't even provide you something that you would purchase a license to, because that's all it is you purchase a license to access this stuff. The only thing different is when you buy something physical, you've got the license on the disc, and they can't take the disc away from you. But how much of a complete game do you have when you buy physical now? Not that much. And the only thing is, like, I don't. Most of the current gen games aren't even worth buying because basically it's a code on a disc. Instead of the game key card, you have the game disc card or game card disc or whatever you want to call it. It's the same thing as Nintendo, just selling you a physical something that you can move around and trade and sell. And so that is definitely better than what Sony is doing. There will be no physical that you can buy for the PlayStation 6 is what it sounds like they're going with. And no more new games for the PlayStation 5.
No, I think there are going to be games for the PlayStation 5.
No,
Um
no. There will not be physical games after the end of next year unless some company licenses the ability to print and make games for the PlayStation 5. There will be no new physical games released on the PlayStation 5.
so you're talking about like if I go in NIS America and I want to buy something of theirs for the PlayStation 5, I will not be able to buy the physical disc for
Yes,
the game.
you'll be able to get it. You'll get a code in the box.
So I'm going to tell you right now, more than likely, this is going to push me to Nintendo completely.
But
I'm going to be honest with you. This is going to push me to Nintendo
well,
because
the
if
thing is, the Switch was really the last bastion for physical media.
Nintendo's going to kill, Nintendo is going to kill.
But see, the Switch 2 still does some physical media, but with the introduction of the game key cards, there's going to be less. All the first party games are going to be on the card, But the third party companies, it's up to them to decide what they want to do. Like LP said, didn't expect it to come so soon, but it isn't surprising the slightest. Yeah, the PS5 Pro does not come standard with the disc. You can buy a disc as an option if you want to. I mean, Xbox Series S is all digital. There's an Xbox Series X that's all digital. So it's nothing new. But look, in response to shifting trends and consumer preferences, consumer preference, new games will be released on PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital formats only. What that means is there's not enough people buying physical. It's not worth them. Yeah, disk drive, not disc. Thanks, LP. Um, there's not enough people that are willing to go to the store and pick up a physical copy for them to continue to do it.
That's insane.
But I did a quick search on Chat GPT earlier, and 80 plus or minus, we'll say 5%. So 75 to 85% of all their sales are digital. And that wasn't including DLC and microtransactions and all the other little nitpicky things that people spend money on, not just the game. 85% of their sales are digital. Is it really worth it for 15 to 20%? And out of that 15, 20%, maybe 5% will care enough to actually do something about it?
So what's going to happen is, what I've noticed with a trend that I'm looking at over here is that a lot of people are going to go to Nintendo and
or they'll go to emulation. They'll go to the Mister. They'll go to the Evercade, where look, I got 6 games on one cartridge for Toplin collection. There's alternatives out there, and there's retro. They don't have to stick with modern gaming, and there's PC.
But that's the thing with PC. I don't know if you've noticed, but unless you're going to sell a kidney, that's the only way to get a really good PC nowadays.
But you don't have to have a good PC if you want to run emulators on it.
But you have to have a good PC to play all the new upcoming games.
Yeah, but if somebody just wants to play retro and they're done with modern gaming, then AAA doesn't matter to them.
But here's the thing. Okay, now I'm gonna bring this out. Okay, Steam lost the license for Boss Monster. I downloaded Boss Monster and paid for it, so I own the license to Boss Monster on Steam. If I go right now on Steam and look up Boss Monster, you can't download it because it's not there anymore. They lost the license.
You should be able to go into your library and download it.
Yes. Now, here's the thing. Sony could turn around and say, okay, well, we're pulling these games.
But that's nothing new. There was stuff like that on the 360 and the PS3. What was it? There was an Outrun game, I believe, Afterburner. They had licensed material in them, and so when Sega lost the license or didn't renew the license to, I think it was Ferrari for Outrun, that arcade game was pulled. You could no longer buy it. If you already had purchased it, you could download it again, but someone who didn't have it could no longer buy it.
Godzilla for PlayStation 4.
Yeah,
I own 3 copies. Same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the bane of digital ownership because it's not ownership. You do not own the game. You have a temporary license, or that's why I call it a long-term rental, because it can be revoked at any point. I mean, it's not like they can't cancel your entire account and you lose all the games that you have on long-term rental. Yeah. Ownership.
It's crazy. And I personally, like I was telling you and everyone else, I truly do feel that our physical games that we own, all our physical. Oh wait, Arizona, in here somewhere it's gonna fall out. Like all these physical games that we own, they're gonna go through the roof.
It's quite possible it may
It,
drive
it
a
it's
frenzy into buying. Um, what's a big game on the PlayStation 3?
like, what do you mean?
Like what was the one that you mentioned earlier?
Drinking Guard 3.
How do you freaking spell that?
Uh, Jeez, you got me.
Never mind. It popped it up for me. Okay, so looking at disc only copy, $50, $77. These are all sold today. 70, 77, 80, 80, 45 loose yesterday, 90 loose complete. Oh, sealed, $90. Okay, so I
I
wouldn't
have now.
I would
Look
say
up.
that hasn't jumped in price today.
Look at the collector's edition. That's the one I have.
Oh, I don't care about the collector's edition. Most people just want something that they can play or stick on the shelf. Most of them aren't hunting the collector's edition. So Spider-Man Web of Shadows sells today, $40. Case and manual only, no disc. That's crazy bucks.
Yeah,
$40. So
yeah.
125, no manual. This is all today for Web of Shadows. 150 with manual. Oh, hold on. I didn't do Web of Shadow. Let me change it so it's pulling in all. Just do web. But okay, 125, 150, 107, 108 yesterday, no manual, $100 complete. There's one that's 150, no manual, 125. So, I mean, it's all over the place, but like it'll be interesting to see in a week or 2 weeks what will happen. Because today I don't think there's been enough time, and only 2 copies were sold today for Web of Shadows. So over time, it'll be interesting to see what happens. But the problem is they're not making physical media, and physical collectors are out of luck. But I think bigger problem is collectors aren't going to do anything about it.
I don't know. They're signing petitions and going on about
Ooh,
things.
petitions. Oh, no, not a petition. Don't put your name down on a petition. Unless you get millions and millions of people to sign it, they're not going to care.
Sony doesn't give a crap. They don't care.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, yeah, sign the petition, but do something more than that. If you really don't want that, like the way they're going, don't buy any PlayStation games. Don't play on your PlayStation, which was something that was brought up. It's like you want them to notice something. Don't buy any games. Cancel your subscriptions, and don't play on your PlayStations that are hooked to the internet. If they see it, all of a sudden they see a 10% drop in people logging in to PSN, that'll get their attention.
I really think this was in the making, and it was fueled also by what was it? The whole thing with the Grand Theft Auto.
No, this was in the works for months and years. I was talking to a guy at work, and he was like, "I wonder if it was about to leak, and so Sony just spit this out really quickly." I was like, "You know
Probably.
what? That makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot more sense than what was than them just blindly dropping this." But like LP said, the people that are making noise are the minority. We'll say that they're that 20%. We'll give it at 20%. They're not, whatever they do is not gonna, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one. The majority don't
It's
care.
true.
The guy I was talking to at work, I asked him, and he's like, "I don't care. I buy everything digital." I was like, "All right, so you don't mind?" And he's like, "Nope." Now he's in, I'll say, mid 20s, somewhere around there, mid-late 20s. He didn't grow up with having, physical games as much. And he, like LP said earlier, and we've said before, you trade the convenience of ownership so that you don't have, what was it? Traded owner. Wait a minute. They traded ownership for convenience. So yeah, around LP's age.
Yo,
The
I don't.
problem is
It's
most people are going to whine and complain and do like they always do and do nothing.
I don't. I really do find this crazy in the sense that let's take a look at this from this perspective. One, this is definitely going to push me to have a bigger collection for Nintendo, for the Nintendo Switch 2, because I'm going to now buy all my collector's editions for the Switch 2. And
Okay.
I kind of was surprised in myself because I bought Elliot, and Elliot was for the Switch. Elliot, I really thought it was for the Switch 2, but instead it was for the PlayStation. Fine, whatever, I don't care. I was reading a lot about this before we jumped on, and a lot of people are saying that the systems to collect for right now are going to be Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and like the Nintendo S type of systems. People are going to be jumping in Nintendo because the Switch 2, if I was Nintendo right now and I was seeing Sony's canceling all of this, I would say, okay, I would rebut, and I guarantee you Nintendo's going to sit quiet. And they're going to, a couple of weeks from now, whatever, they're going to say, we are all physical media.
No.
You don't think Nintendo's
No.
gonna be like, we're not. Nintendo will not stop putting out physical media.
But they're not going to say we're only doing physical media. They will give you the option. And even then, I mean, let me run something through Chat GPT. But Nintendo is not going to drop digital. Too much of their income comes from digital. Even if it was 30% digital and 60% physical. Nintendo game. What percent of Nintendo games are sold digitally versus physical?
Like the Vita, even the Vita, like them pulling the store for the Vita, it is what it is. Like you could go right now and get like some Vita games, but I mean they're
So the last 2 fiscal years, 2024 and 2025, I should say 2 complete fiscal years, they have done more digital than physical sales.
Nintendo.
Nintendo.
Wow. That's wild. That's wild.
Yeah, but people are trading ownership for convenience. And I mean, I don't blame them. There's games that, like Expedition 33, I bought that physically. I am waiting for it to get on a good sale, and I'm going to pick it up digitally too, because the convenience of having it digitally is great. Like, I don't plan on getting rid of the physical version, but I'm going to keep physical and I want it digitally so that I don't have to worry about putting the disc in. So at any point in time, I turn on one of the series and I can plop it in. I can jump on and play. I can download it and just play to my heart's content.
This is crazy.
It's the wave of the future, and Nintendo and something like the Evercade, and there was the rumor of Sega putting out a physical handheld that was going to play physical cartridges or something.
Nah.
That's all niche though. Nintendo is still the last. The Switch was the last bastion for this last gen, and the Switch 2 is less so.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not gonna I was very smart with PS1, PS2, and PS3. I was very smart with that.
What
Um,
about it? How are you smart?
well, here's the thing: PlayStation 1. Um, I have all the top tiers for PlayStation 1, the most expensive ones. Now, being a shmup collector, I do not own Enhinder, which is completely stupid. I don't know why. I should do that, and I think I've been holding out for a show to trade for whatever. PlayStation 1, I bought all the games I wanted. All the banger RPGs, all the stuff that's like, going through the roof right now. I bought all of it. PlayStation 2. I did that for PlayStation 2. I bought all the stuff when it was kind of like, Kuno and Ruler Rose and uh the other game with the dog. So I bought a lot of the PlayStation 2 stuff that I really, really wanted. And now PlayStation 3, I bought the games when 360 was when PlayStation 3 and 360 were supposed to go up. I bought a lot of the PlayStation 3, but I've been collecting PlayStation 3 for a very long time. And I have a lot of games on it, but PlayStation 3 really does not have a good amount of game. Like I feel like PlayStation 3 doesn't have a good amount of games. So I knew Sony was going to do something like this, and I started collecting PlayStation 4 and 5. I have a good amount. I am going to buy, I am definitely going to look for, PlayStation 5 indie games, and I'm going to buy them. And I'm going to buy PlayStation 5 games because to everybody that's watching this, and including you, Oaz, I'm just going to bring this up out of nowhere, but Saturn, Super Nintendo, I'll go Sega Genesis, Musha, Crusader Ascenti, Punisher, Grindstormer, all very, very late releases for Genesis before Genesis took a tank and went under. Correct?
I don't know.
Crusade, Crusader Ascenti. You even come on, being a Genesis collector yourself, Crusader Ascenti is
I
like, hey,
the games that were over $60, I pretty much ignore.
so.
I don't track them.
But here's the thing: we could both agree, Magic Knight Rayearth was a very late release in Saturn's life, and when Saturn crashed, that game it went up in price along with Panzer Dragoon Saga. What I feel is going to happen with this is that the games are going to stop for PlayStation 5 and all those late releases, those last releases for PlayStation 5 in like 3 to 5 years are going to be worth what our Panzer Dragoon Saga and our Crusader Ascenti and our Magic Knight Rayearth are. And that's where I think people are going to be like, I'm going now to look for these games and buy them. Definitely limited run games are going to limited run games. If you're sitting on limited run games right now, bless you, because limited run games for PlayStation 5 are going to go like woo. You're going to be able to go to Mars with the amount of fuel that those guys are going to be on eBay. And like Lego saying right here, Drakengard, Folklore, Lollipop Chainsaw, Web of Shadows, Tornado Outbreak. Like I own all of those because I was smart and bought all of those when the GameStop near me was going out of business, and I'm sitting on all of them and I play them. You know, now
Uh,
let me ask you this: trades and shows. Do you think now people are going to be more inclined to
Go to a
take
show.
take loose games because of this whole physical media stuff?
See that? Yes and no, because not everyone likes to haggle.
Well,
So yeah, like I'm planning on taking games to Segi in a couple weeks, and I'm taking games to trade because there's stuff in my collection that I don't care about keeping anymore, so it can go bye bye. Because if I'm not going to play it, I don't. There's no point in having it in my collection. Not. I don't mean if I don't have time to play it. If it's a game I am not going to play.
I
If I
agree
had
with
all
you.
the time in the world, would I play this game? Yes or no? If the answer is no, it doesn't need to be in the collection unless it has some special significance to me. But it's it's going to be interesting. I mean, it's going to be interesting next couple weeks, next couple months, and in the next year to see what happens with Sony killing physical for the PlayStation 5. I mean, I guess there's still some for the Xbox. So, this is a website that everyone who wants to collect physical should become familiar with. Is does it play? So you can come in here, look at so Star Fox just came
I've
out for
never
the
seen
Switch 2.
this.
It'll tell you, all right, is this game playable offline? Yes. Download required. No, with an asterisk.
Oh, wow.
Download required, minor content missing, or a lot of bugs present with a patch recommended. So offline play, yes, but you're missing stuff that might make your gameplay less than ideal. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. All right. So Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate. Offline play, yes, with an exclamation. Game has an offline mode, but some features require an online connection. Download required, no. Download required. Minor content missing or a lot of bugs present with a patch recommended. So the game is playable, but not necessarily in a great state.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
so here's one for you: The Adventures of Elliot.
Uh-huh.
Offline play, yes. Download required, no.
No.
In green. And the only disclaimer is PS5 consoles with a detachable disk drive, PS5 Slim, and PS5 Pro require an internet connection to activate the disk drive at the setup. So as long as you already have a disk drive on it, then you're good to go for Elliot. But need to become familiar with, does it play? Look up a game before you buy it so that you have an idea of, is it playable? Is this an extensive, entirely extensive library? No, because the games have to be tested. I mean, let me see if Mirror's Edge, not Mirror's Edge, Jiminy Christmas.
Mirror's Edge is a good game.
It is. It's a great game. It's
Oh,
Expedition
Claire.
33. We'll look at the Xbox, and I was thinking about the Mirror Edition, which is the version I got. Offline play, yes. Download required, no. Asterisk. Download required. Minor content missing or a lot of bugs present with a patch recommended. Offline play, yes. Download required, yes, with an asterisk. Download required. Significant pieces of content are missing from the physical release or has major issues. So the Xbox version is playable offline and has issues. The PS5 version is playable offline but has lots of issues. So, you know, plan accordingly, buy accordingly. The mirror, yeah, the space station edition. So, I mean, it's not like every game that comes out is playable off of the disc. Most of the time, what was it? Sonic Forces, I think. Oh, so see, not tested for the Xbox One version.
Interesting.
Because that one had it downloaded off the disc and then it had to install some. So Yes, but no. What kind of update does it have? Does it have game breaking bugs? Does it have bugs that are just a bit of an annoyance? Can you soft lock it? Is it going to make physical editions go up? That's a good possibility because, especially right now, people are going to get in a hyper focus mode and have to spend a bunch of money to pick up the games that they think that they're not going to be able to play anymore if they don't go ahead and pick up a physical copy. But like if I was going to do that, I would worry about picking up physical copies from the 7th gen backwards.
What do you mean?
Those games are on the disc.
Oh, yeah.
They're playable
Yeah.
off the disc.
Yeah.
Because we hadn't got to the point we did with the Xbox One and the PS4 where it's like we're gonna sell you occasionally and then more frequently sell you a disc that does not have a game on it.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think in the upcoming months, we're going to be priced out of retro. I honestly, I feel like you, especially, I feel, you don't think so?
No. And I assume you say especially me because of my self-imposed $60 limit for
Oh,
retro games.
I'm wild with my stuff, but yeah.
Yeah. So I'm patient. I'm okay with never owning any of it. And so I will wait to get it for the price that I think it's worth. And I will be fine with not getting it because I'm not going to pay absurd amount of money for this plastic and circuit boards and chips.
I agree.
So, but I don't see super common games outside of Pokemon and some Mario titles going for crazy amounts of money. And if they do, I am okay without owning them because there's so many other games on consoles that are in that price range and really good games. And if you're not worried about having it complete and you're fine with it having a damaged label, you can get it for even cheaper.
Someone said to me, why don't you collect because I'm a huge RPG collector and shmups. And they're like, oh, why don't you collect why don't you have the Pokemon games? and I said before I choked to death, I said, I have living Pokemon in my room. What the hell do I need to play the damn games for? Someone as a smart, got me the Jurassic Park collection. And I was like, whatever. I was like, the games were all right. And I laughed and I said, oh, is that because I have Jurassic Park in my room? I don't, like you said, Pokemon. I don't care about Pokemon from, let's see. I don't care about Pokemon from Sun and Moon and before that. I don't care about that. Sun and Moon, to me, they were excellent games. I love them. I collect from Sun and Moon on for Pokemon. But again, the double packs are worth a lot of money. It's just like that whole shelf all over there is all straight collector's editions of whatever collector's editions I have, and then I have collector's editions sitting over there and collector's editions over here. But it's crazy.
Well, I think it's interesting that crud, that there's collector's editions that didn't actually have games in them. They had download codes. And so
Yeah, that's crazy.
Unless Platinum Edition and Limited Run Games and all the other little businesses that have popped up that allow you to buy physical games of games that were only previously digital only, don't know if there's gonna be much point in getting collector's editions and stuff, because then all you're getting paying for is a bunch of plastic, not an actual game, more so than usual.
I think a lot of games are gonna go. I really, really have a feeling a lot of games are just gonna go through the roof. I have a
I don't
really strong feeling that retro, because what I think people are gonna get burnt out with not owning the games. I think Sony's just saying we could do whatever the hell we want. Um,
No, they are doing. I mean, they use the excuse because of changing trends or whatever. Every console's sales are mostly digital, including Nintendo, which has a huge physical presence. Most of their sales are digital. They are doing what people want, and they love it because they don't have to pay to print a game, to print a case, to print a cover, to ship, to put it in a box, to wrap the box, to put it on a pallet, to put it on a truck, to take it to the store, and then the store take a cut of the sale.
I'll tell
They
you
are
right
more
now,
than happy for it to go that way.
like I said it before at early point in this conversation, and I'll say this now. Yo, Russ, I 1,000% agree with you. I'm definitely not buying any more new
Yeah, I
consoles.
mean, I was
I
pretty much
agree.
already going that direction, and I mean, I don't collect for PlayStation anything, but like it just doesn't. There's not enough good games on this stuff to even justify buying a new console. If I could whisper in any of the console makers' ears, I'd be like, do not release another console for several years. Make the most out of what you've got. Optimize the games to the hardware as much as possible. I only see desirable PS3 games going through the roof because of the incoming closure of the store, but that's it. Oh, and I guess Vita for the same reason. See, the 360 had a bit of a spike too, and then that stuff dropped back down. I had a game I wish I would have sold because it was like $150, and now
What
it's only
game?
30 or 40. Um, I don't remember. It was an RPG that I bought off a buddy that I never got around to playing.
Was it on the Vita?
No, on the 360. I don't
Oh,
have a PlayStation
oh,
Vita.
you don't have PlayStation anything.
I got a PS2. It's sitting in a box somewhere, and I got the PS1 Mini that's never been hooked up because PlayStation doesn't matter to me. It just doesn't. But today on one of my walks, I walked over to a GameStop, and there was a couple guys in there, and I asked them because we were talking about it, and I was
Hmm.
like, they both want they both like physical, they both want physical, but I asked them, and I was like, what? How much is having physical worth to you? Would you pay? Say the game comes out between 60 and $70. Would you pay twice as much so you can have a physical version? So you can pay $120 to $140 so you can have a physical version? Like, no, they're not. They wouldn't do that. Then it doesn't mean that much to you to have a physical version. It'd have to be very specific games if the physical version was twice as much as the digital version.
When when Lego, when the PS5 came out and I pre-ordered it, I had to come in or whatever it is. There were no, like, the games were like, I was more, let me rephrase this. I was more excited for PlayStation 4, and the only reason why I bought PlayStation 4 was for Dying Light. And I've said this a million times over through like all podcasts and everything, because Dying Light is just phenomenal. And I was very pissed at that studio because of the non-physical release of the Beast, and they did not physically release that, and it was a digital only that they did, and I was, whatever, but I support that studio wholeheartedly, and I bought it. I bought tons of stuff from that studio. Oh my god! So he'll play with his toys while we're playing with video games. But I mean, I agree with you, Russ. Like, I don't. There was nothing when the PlayStation 5 came out, I bought it. There was nothing like, oh my god, I have to play this. I have to play this. I have to
There
play
hasn't been
this.
anything like that for the PS4, the Xbox One, the Xbox Series, or the PS5. Not in my opinion.
The only stuff that I got excited about for the PS3 was the
Except for
Gundam
maybe that.
Dynasty Warriors 1, 2, and 3. That was it.
So
Gundam
you got excited for a remake of retro games.
Gundam Dynasty Warriors was not a remake,
It's funny the
unless
number of
unless I
I've
don't know
seen two or
about.
three people mention like the only thing that has been really great in the last couple years on the PlayStation or PlayStation exclusive was Astro Bot, and that was like a fancy tech demo. But the thing is,
Oh, I kid you, toys.
toy collecting. Oh, hush up! You said you're buying Dino Riders and stuff, so yeah, you
Okay.
can. The thing is, you know, toys aren't like you can't make toys digitally and get this have the same effect from them. You can put them into a video game and do something with them, but there's still something about holding the physical toy and being able to do what you want with it.
I'll be honest with you. I'll give everyone an insider tip. Dragon Ball Z games for PlayStation 3, Yakuza Dead Souls, buy it now. Yakuza Dead Souls will go. That is a game gated on the PlayStation 3. They will never make Yakuza Dead Souls ever again. Buy, like, that's
But okay, so are you saying buy it because it's a good game, or buy it because if you hold on to it for a couple of years, you'll be able to sell it for more?
Yakuza Dead Souls is a phenomenal game. It is it is a great game. I enjoyed playing it. I played it for several days. Um, that's a great game to buy. Lollipop Chainsaw is a great game, even though it was
Which they did,
re-released.
didn't they do a remake in the last year or
Yeah, they
two
did
of
a
Lollipop?
repop, which is bull, but it's fine.
Why is it bull? Because it wasn't a good remake, or
They left a lot of content out that the original one had.
uh, probably wasn't PC.
Yes, Lollipop Chainsaw is not PC. Yakuza Dead Souls is it's see that's the thing for you. You don't want to play it. For me, I that's the only Yakuza game I did play because it was a lot of fun because I like zombie games. So for me, it made sense to do that. I don't really see anything on the PlayStation 5 that, oh my god, I have to go out right now and buy. Except for some the one game I looked at, which was right here. Uh All Guns Blazing, which is a shmup that they came out with that I should have bought and I didn't. I'm not. There's nothing. I could see like right now. Oh my god, I have to go. But like all my like PlayStation stuff, I already have all of it, and I mean that's really about it. I don't. Yeah. Am I going to hold on to a lot of the games that I thought I was going to sell? Yes,
Why?
definitely.
Because you're gonna
Because
play them all of a sudden?
no, I'm gonna wait until the price value goes up, and I'm gonna cash in on them and get stuff that I want, which is retro.
And so what if the price spikes in the next 2 months, and then a month later it's lower than it was before?
I'm gonna watch it when the price hits peak, or I feel like it's gonna be close to peak.
So
I'm gonna sell off
you're gonna try and time it,
pretty much.
because it could go up and then drop down really quick and then shoot up even higher. So it's
Okay.
like trying to judge stocks. I mean, unless you have some sweet inside information, like there's no way of knowing when that's going to happen. You're gonna do day trading with your games.
Oh,
And the thing with that is it worth it to hold on to them just because they might go up in value, even though they're taking up a bunch of space that you could use for something you actually would appreciate and enjoy?
they are taking up a bunch of space. They are. They are taking up a bunch of space. They are. Oh.
Gotta have that Peppa Pig.
I don't blame them. I have that. I have that game for my friend Peppa Pig for the Switch, and
I think
I
is with all of the whole hootenanny of physical games and oh no, what are we gonna do? Don't let and don't buy. Do your best not to buy into the FOMO of you'll never be able to play these games if you don't get them now. These are the ones that you should be looking out for because most of the time when people are talking about them, they are not talking about whether or not it is a good game. They're talking about it's rare and it's going to
that's
cost
it.
more later. I'm not interested in PS5 or PS anything. Like none of this
Well,
consoles hold my interest.
I'll be honest with you, Garden or Drakengard, it's a very good game.
But see, that's not what most people talk about. And if they do, it's an afterthought. It's like you should pick up this game. It's a lot of fun, but you might want to do it sooner rather than later because once people really start to find out about this game, it's going to be harder to find and more expensive. Usually the first thing they all talk about is how much it's worth.
It's true.
And it's unfortunate because it's okay. Did we decide that collecting is more about getting games that are valuable, and I think I got caught up in it when I first got got heavy into recollecting. Is it valuable? Is it rare? Or is it something I want to play? I mean, that's how you end up with a set of something. You end up, and sometimes it's just because it's a challenge, the fun of the hunt. But trying to do that for modern systems, and I'm saying modern as in PS4, Xbox One forward, to me doesn't really make much sense. Just because so much of it isn't worth playing. There's just so little that is worth playing. And again, make sure you're familiar with does it play so you can go and check out, is this game playable off of the disc or off of the cart? And hopefully it's on there. If not, if you know somebody that has it, like, hey, can I borrow that game? Take your console offline, plug it in, play it, and then report back.
I agree. I agree with Lego. What Lego said is like I do adore my PS5, but I'm gonna what I agree with him too. But what Russ said as well, I am not going to run out and buy a PlayStation 6. I'm not going to be like, oh, I need to get a PlayStation 6 right now, whatever. And I mean, I'm going to, with all the shows coming up, I'm going to enjoy looking at the retro games, saying, do I want this? Do I want this to add to my collection or whatever? I'm really just now primarily buying shmups. Like I have almost everything I want. There are some games I want for the Vita closing is going to push my hand a little bit more to buy the NIS America Rose game. It's going to push my hand to buy that a little bit sooner because I don't want that to go up in value to the point where I just don't give a damn about it anymore. Also, we also have to realize as well that the PSP was never mentioned about this at all. Now, with the Vita closing, the store for the Vita closing and the store for the PS3 closing, there are PSP games in the store for the Vita that you could download PSP games for the Vita. So now PSP, that's always been like the bastard child of Sony with the UMD discs, is now going to go up. And I feel like now you're going to get a lot of people with PSP.
Maybe,
because
maybe not. It might be one of those things like nobody cared then and nobody cares now. Just because something goes out doesn't mean that it's automatically going to go up in price. Especially dependent upon the number of units that are sold, the number of units that are out there. Because guess what? Hardly anybody cares about the Virtual Boy And the thing that makes that expensive is there's not a lot of them because nobody cared then, and hardly anybody cares now. But there are so few of them that were made. Like there is no like super common game for the Virtual Boy because they're all uncommon, at least.
I have most. I'm. I was never big. Like I wasn't big into the Vita. Um, I don't. I don't. I mean, I'm not the Vita. The
Virtual Boy,
PSP.
or
The
PS.
PSP.
See, I don't even know the difference between the two, and it doesn't matter to me because again, like I ignored all of the PlayStation stuff because I didn't want to have to try to keep up with all three systems, and it would have been too expensive for me to do that at the time. But I think that
You know this is now going to
physical
drive.
physical physical collecting has been dead since the Xbox One and the PS4, or no, it's been dying since the Xbox One and the PS4 because digital has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger every year. And this is just it's a sign of things to come. Like I'm surprised it has taken this long because I'm pretty sure PC games have had nothing but digital basically for close to 20 years. And all consoles have been doing is playing catch up. And now they're catching up. And so you're going to have to go to the store and you'll either get, the little credit card thing with the number on the back that you scratch off and you enter your code when you get home to unlock your game so you can download it, or you'll get a case with a digital code in it so you go home and do it. But that's why I think, like, I'm glad I got into the Evercade and started buying cartridges when I did, because you mentioned Grindstormer earlier. Well, I've got the arcade version of Grindstormer on here and 5 other games, so I can play those. I've got them on cartridge. I don't have my. You can hook your Evercade to the internet, but you don't have to. And I haven't yet, so I can play those offline, and they play. But it's just
I mean, I was thinking about this today, and I was going back and back and forth with all of this, and I'm just like, um, I like I love the. It's probably gonna push Deep Silver to make more stuff because Deep Silver is what's putting out the Neo Geo, and I I I think we're gonna get like that surge of the oh my god, like the Neo Geo that's coming out with the physical cards. Everybody went nuts over that, and I think that's gonna be a huge thing.
everyone did not go nuts over that. The niche that we are in went crazy for it.
You really think
Most
so?
people, most gamers don't care about it. Most gamers probably didn't even hear about it. The retro
So
collectors heard about it and care. And I mean, the thing is, retro gaming is a niche market.
there's a lot of retro collectors out there, though.
There's a lot more gamers that don't retro collect. There's a lot more. And that's proven by the percentage of games that are being sold digitally versus physically. I mean, throw whatever opinions out there. I mean, it's great that we have like we're in the same book, but not necessarily on the same page when we're talking about this stuff.
Well, you and me.
Yeah, but what was it? The Drake said, the problem is that there's no reason to buy a non-physical game for a console. The thing is, there is a reason to, because it is drastically cheaper than a physical version. But see, it goes back to I was talking to the guys at GameStop, and how much is it worth it to you to have a physical game? Are you willing to spend 2 to 3 times or even more than what the digital version costs so you can have a physical version? Most people are going to say no. But
Lego.
if it is a game that was already released digitally and then 6 months later it comes out and the price of the digital game has dropped to say $30, and now you can get a physical copy that has all the patches and everything included, and that's $60, maybe it'd be worth it then. Let's see. Fat
I
Rat
don't know.
Neo Geo was cool, but don't need it. Got Wii collection with best games on it. LP.
Bro, I'll Lego. So my friend was like, "Oh my god, I picked this up," and I looked, and it was Bluey, the game Bluey, physically for the Switch, and it came with Bluey the gnome, and I said to myself, "Oh wow, okay." It was $10 on Amazon for the Bluey game with the stupid plush gnome.
Yeah, it was
I said,
being clearanced out.
what the hell? $10. So I bought it and I have the box. It's a Bluey game, but it's $10. And I was like, whatever. I like my friend Peppa Pig. My kids wanted it for Christmas. I wound up playing it and I liked it. I thought Daddy Pig was funny and the adventures you go on. But here's the thing. The most expensive game for PlayStation 4 is called Poop Slinger. And it is like, I think, $1,400 or something, that it was a limited minimalistic
But
release.
who cares about that game?
Nobody.
No, not nobody. You got your set collectors and the people that are buying it just because it's rare and uncommon and it's a look what I've got. And
The idiots?
yeah, well, the people that collect differently than we do. I mean, I think anyone that spends $100 on an old game is crazy because that's not for me. But I understand that it is for some people. I don't agree with it, but like it has to be drastically cheaper. I mean, like on PC, it's already digital downloads. That's the advantage that consoles have. Might as well buy a PC.
Thanks, Blockbuster, for allowing me to rent this from you and me never returning it.
And
I loved it. I here it is. Here it is in the case that I even got it from Blockbuster.
do you play it every month?
When I hook up the Nintendo, when this is running and I have the Nintendo hooked up, yeah, I'll play it. I love the game. It's a great game. I love Snow Bros. I have a whole collection of Snow Bros over there. I love Snow Bros. I don't have Snow Bros with a Mega Drive because it's too much, but
He was a kid at the time. Or apparently, they were just getting rid of all their NES games. Or like whatever.
that's how I got Secret of Mana. I stole it from Blockbuster.
He's a thief. He's a no good, dirty thief.
Could care less. So I got my Virtual Boy carrying case.
Okay, so don't have Satan over to your house because he's going to steal the stuff and feel justified in doing it.
It's not my fault they were going out of it. I was like, oh, let me just rent this. And I got the PlayStation 3 carrying case because I rented the PlayStation 3. And I brought back the PlayStation 3 and everything and told them that the carrying case got destroyed. They charged me $10 and I still have it to this day.
So you lied and stole it.
I was going to walk out of the store with a kiosk until my wife turned around and said, I'm going to beat the hell out of you. And I wanted a full kiosk. I wanted the full Blockbuster PlayStation 3 kiosk. And she said I was ridiculous.
Well, I can't blame you on that one. I mean, even if it was PlayStation, but.
Oh, I took everything from Blockbuster. You wouldn't believe, Jesus. I went in there. Oh man, me and my friends opened up the back door with the crowbar. and we were like left and right. We were just signs
I
and
hope the
shirts.
statute of limitations is over for all this crap that you're confessing to.
I mean, we went, whatever. I mean, we used to play paintball in an abandoned mall in Long Island.
That's a little different than breaking into a store and stealing stuff.
We were cultivators of history, and we were taking historical
Oh, blah
items.
blah blah. Game
Like,
preservation, blah blah blah. Everyone uses that as a fancy as a buzzword. Most
you
people
know what?
don't give two shakes about game preservation.
You know what, Drake? We're just built differently. Okay, you want to buy your versions of stuff, and I just think it's whatever. I just it was a bad, it was in a bad area of, it was quorum, and we broke the door was like half open, so it's like one of those, all right, whatever, here, let's just and then you know lanyards and all that other stuff. I wanted the, like, so when they were taking the signs down, I wanted the B, and I didn't get that. I wanted a Toys R Us sign. I didn't get that.
Yep. Oh, I would have
My
loved to have gotten a Toys R Us sign or a Blockbuster sign.
I mean, whatever it is what it is. But I'm not gonna,
He went to Long Island. That's a crime.
but it is, it is what it is. I just,
Yeah.
it's,
I don't think that there's enough people that care enough. They might care, but they do not care enough to actually put their money where their mouth is, vote with their wallet, and be like, Sony, we are not happy with this. We do not like it. We do not approve it. We are not going to participate in anything that you are offering now. Whether that's games, we're not going to connect to the PlayStation Network anymore. We're not going to do, we're not going to cancel our subscription to the PSN network. We're not going to buy games that come out physically. We're going to go buy games on another system. Because you do those things, and all of a sudden, Sony's numbers start dropping, their game sales, their connections to PSN,
yeah.
and all of a sudden, Microsoft but most likely, like Nintendo's like, oh, we're selling more games. We've got more people subscribed to the Nintendo Switch Online stuff. Because if numbers go like this, then all of a sudden it's going to be, oh, look, maybe we've made a mistake and we need to listen to this 20% because they're vocal and they are actually doing something, not just whining and complaining and signing a petition. They're voting with their wallet. They are not giving us their money anymore. I was on a Discord and um, I made a comment about not buying games, or why are you going to support them by buying physical games now when you know they're going to cut it off? Because there's games I want to play. And I was like, but I don't remember exactly how to put it, but basically, wouldn't it be better if you didn't buy anything from them anymore? And they're like, no, because then it'll just justify them thinking that it's all right to sell nothing but digital games. And I just like, I still don't quite understand it. Because like, if you take your money elsewhere, as soon as this news drops, to me, that's taking a stand. There was a guy on Twitter. He said, and he's like, cancel my PlayStation account, canceled the PSN, not going to buy games anymore, and a couple other things. And I was like, bang on, good for you for, um, let me see if I can find it.
I'm just whatever with Sony.
I don't know where that. I can look at my replies. Let me see. But the thing is, don't connect to the network. Don't let them see that you're playing your games.
Like even now, I was very like what I said about Elliot. I was very surprised that I bought it for the um the PlayStation 5. I really thought I did for the Switch. Majority of the games I'm buying now are for the Switch and not the PlayStation 5. Um, I just I'll look at Amazon for all my pre-orders, and they'll all be for the Switch.
Yeah.
Uh,
So really quick, so he said, I canceled my membership this month for the first time in a decade. Due to the recent news about physical games, I will not be renewing and I will no longer be supporting any of your products. And I said, voting with your wallet, I like it.
mm,
Because that's what people need to do.
no, it's the truth. Like this will push me. Like I said, this will push me to buy more Switch games because Kingdom Hearts collection is the Switch. Fire Emblem is the Switch. Dragon Quest Monsters and Final Fantasy Resonates or Resonance I have for the Switch and PlayStation 5. The Persona Collector's Edition, Elden Ring for the Switch 2. Why I did that is beyond me. I guess I'm a masochist. Uh it Legend of Heroes, Trials from Zero and whatever. Yeah, but I mean most of these games are for the Switch.
Because the information's on there. But okay, so here's another tweet. Game companies aren't making physical games anymore because they figured out that we will buy them anyway.
Yep.
They used to justify prices because of discs, packaging, instructions, manuals, etc. They took all that away and continue to charge high prices. We'll let them. It's our own fault. I said, spot on. There aren't enough people who will just stop feeding the machine. Too many forget these are wants and not needs. If you care enough to complain and complain, do something about it. Put your money where your mouth is. He said most gamers can't stop feeding the machine, especially when you can buy a lot of digital games for under $10. Not wrong. I mean, I know I've picked up. I love looking at $5 and $10 games and finding something new to play because you can get some of them AAA releases for $5 digitally. So I mean, I'm part of the problem, but also like I rarely buy a game brand new. Most games are not worth the $60 price that they launch at, let alone the $70 and $80 that we're going to start seeing.
No, they're really not. But
And part of that is I don't have the time to put into the games to get my money out of them for $60. I mean, I bought this one new, I think it was $50. I got quite a bit of playtime out of it, but it was spread out over 5 or 6 weeks, but partly because I was streaming it. If I wasn't streaming it, I probably would have gotten through it a lot quicker. But like I still think about that game and I want to go back to it. So I think I got good value at it and I will continue to get value out of it. But I think that is the exception and not the rule. Yeah, and then you're muted. But Steam sale for $2. But see, then that's PC. PC has had nothing but digital for quite some time. And the thing is, Steam is great. There are no sales that can compete with a Steam sale.
oh yeah. Oh
Part of
yeah.
that is okay, well, how big of a library does Steam have? Oh, wait. Every game since before Steam was even a thing, there's thousands and tens of thousands of games on there. You could take all the consoles and combine them together, all the modern consoles that had storefronts, they can't compete with the library on Steam. And all those games that have been on Steam 20 years ago, okay, so most of the games that were on there 20 years ago are still on there, and you can still buy them and play them. They are playable. You don't have to worry about generation like you do with consoles. And consoles have gotten further and further away
Yeah.
from the ease of play, where you put in your game and you play. And PCs have gotten easier and easier and easier. You don't have to worry about setting up memory blocks so that you have enough memory set aside for your game to play, um, or your sound blaster, and making sure that's configured correctly for each game that you play. Because now it's you download the game and you play it. As long as you have space, you're ready to go.
I think this is also going to push the memory as well. The SSDs are going to go up.
It's possible there might be a rush on storage so that people can
Final
say
Fantasy 7.
Drake has all the games from 1980 to 1996. Mister.
Yep. The Mister's
But
another great. It's another great system.
yeah, Drake says they're already expensive, but there might be a further spike in it because people are going to be like, okay, well now I need to get a few terabytes so I can download all of these games that I don't care about.
That's true too.
But there's so few of the games that people will actually care about and actually play.
Wait, the Misters are. How are what are the Misters going for now?
Exodus.
And wasn't there supposed to be a second system or something that Mister was supposed to come out with? I
I've
ever since
forgotten about wasn't just the second version of it or something?
I guess.
But
I didn't think Drake. How much are the Misters going for now?
well, and Sony not making the game discs anymore, I really wonder if something like LRG and Platinum Edition, if they're going to be able to license the ability to make the discs. Because as long as that happens, and there's a way for people to make discs that can be used to put games on, there will be a way. Even if people have to crack their PS5s, there'll eventually be a way where people can put games on discs and play them. Well, not play them from the disc because you still have to install it. I do miss the days where installing was optional.
Oh wow, he's right. Oh wow.
What?
They're a lot of money.
What?
They're $600. The Mister loaded 256 SD 8 like almost 400, 700, and they're far. Wow. Jeez, this is crazy. So the Mister, the FPGA loaded dual RAM trade for the RetroTink 4K Pro. He has all the cables, everything in here. The Mister lights up. He wants $2,000 for it.
Are you looking at eBay or something?
eBay is the only real place I could figure out.
But you're not looking at sold listings?
I'm just looking at what they are now.
Look at the sold listings. Don't look at what people are trying to sell it for, because people always try to sell stuff for crazy prices.
Yeah, 600, 325. A Mister the Superstation, which was like the PlayStation 1 just redone. 500, Mister 400, 500. Wow, they're a lot of money. A full Mister with SCART, everything 400. Wow. Wow. I'm seeing like 375 to 600.
So not so crazy, but at 600, you're looking at, well, you were looking at console prices because all that stuff's going up, which we're going to talk about tomorrow night.
That's insane.
Yep, you can go and say and said it was okay.
Can
The thing is,
I?
we're saying it's the death of physical media. It's the death of new games.
But here's the thing: like, what are large companies like Bandai Namco and Square? What are they gonna like? Aren't they gonna say, you know? Aren't they gonna be pissed?
Why? Who do
So
you
then, what
think
are
they
they?
pay to print the discs for their games?
So it'll be cheaper for them to just
Yes.
print it on a card, and that's it.
To print a code on a card?
Right. But they're
Yeah.
still going to charge the same amount of money if the game was coming or not.
Yeah. They will all be better off percentage wise with this. Because not only that, now Sony can control the pricing for everything. You will not be able to go to the store. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen those code cards go on sale.
No.
Um, so
No.
instead of those codes, you know, when a store wants to get rid of the games they've got now, they clearance them out. The codes cards, I imagine they could just be like, all right, just throw them away. They're not activated. They're no good. Toss them in the trash. Boom, done. They don't lose any money because all the store does is activate it, and I guess they take whatever their cut is.
This is crazy, I guess. I know for Horizon Zero Dawn, 2, it was all codes. It was the collector's edition with codes. So, this is weird, but okay.
So, quick look at does it play Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered Complete Edition? All of them have offline play, and none of them require a download. That's for the PS4. Now there's a standard version for the PS5, but they're all offline play and no download required. Which a single player game you should not have to download much, if anything, for it. And the sad thing is, Star Fox for the Switch 2 has issues off of the card. So you don't have to download anything, but it's good if you do. Actually, let me see something. Let's look at Metroid Dread.
It's just crazy.
The heck?
Metroid Dread, I thought was fine.
Yeah, Metroid Dread, playable offline, yes. Download required, no. But if you want Dread mode, I believe that's just a download.
Don't you have to earn Dread mode?
Yes.
Okay. That's not that bad.
But you still have a game that you can play. You just can't play the hardest difficulty. Is it the end of gaming as we know it? Yes. Because as we talked before, it's like we think, collector's editions will be the way to get physical games if you can license from Sony and get permission to print physical games or print physical discs for games like that. So for limited run and all these others, premium edition or platinum edition.
I just think this is I really do feel that our physical libraries that we own, they're gonna go up in price.
But what does that matter?
It
I
really
didn't buy my collection for an investment. I bought my collection because I was collecting.
correct. I just think this is going to be like it. I'm personally going to get all the collector's editions I want now and get that out of the way so they don't shoot up in price. And that's it. And then from here on out, I'm only really going to collect for the Switch.
That's
I
fine.
don't
There's no
I don't
problem with collecting for. I think collecting for a different system is great. But I think part of my thing is I am trying to get out of that collecting mindset and move back into a gamer headset or sorry
mindset.
mindset, so that the games I pick up are games I want to play and games I plan to play sooner rather than later, not just things I'm going to throw onto the top of my backlog. Yeah, yeah. It's gaming, Jim, but not as we know it. Not as we know it. Not as we know it. It's gaming, Jim, but not as we know it. Not as we know it, Captain.
I just it's crazy.
It's and like it's an end of an era, but I don't think it's the end of gaming as we know it. Well, it is because physical is going to be a very small part of gaming going forward for modern games. Just 50 cents a day, you can save gaming. I mean, it's going to be subscriptions. It's going to be, you know,
I I really hope that you are going to have a lot of games come out for the Switch, and I hope Nintendo continues to let this continue.
well, I think that's the way of showing Sony and Microsoft that people that you're not happy with what they're doing. Do not buy their products and buy a competitor's products. Like you collect for the Switch, buy games for the Switch, log on to the Switch and play. Use the Switch online um, service. Oh, Nintendo makes a ton of remakes, and people pay them, and that's why they do it, and that's why they charge what they charge.
That's true. But
It's,
I just this is like I said before, if this is gonna push my hand for the Switch.
but
I don't know.
are you switching to the Switch just because you want to keep buying games?
I'm switching because I like physical media. I like physically taking the game out of the cartridge, putting it in the system, playing it, taking the game out, and doing something else. I do not like micromanaging space on my systems. I think it is absolutely ridiculous.
But the convenience, like for retro systems, putting the game in and whatever, that's fine. Modern systems is an inconvenience. That's why, like Expedition 33, when I can get it for cheap digitally, I will happily get it digitally so that I have the convenience of playing it whenever I want without having to switch discs. It's just a weird mindset that I've got, and I'm sure other people have. That with retro consoles, probably because there's no alternative, it's fine to go get the case, open it up, grab the cart, pull it out, stick it in the console, and play it. But with a modern system, using a disc doesn't have that same feel, that same attachment, because you can play digitally so much of this stuff. So I don't know. I think it's kind of an interesting conundrum. it's a weird differentiation for me to make, but to me, there's a difference. There's a difference between playing cartridges on the Genesis and the Master System than playing discs on the Xbox. And I find the convenience on the modern consoles great. Do I like to have physical games? Yeah. Do I have physical games for those systems? Yeah. But it's so convenient to have them digitally. And that's why digital is outpacing physical. It's so much easier. You don't have to get up off the couch to go to the store to buy the game, to play the game. It's all been made so easy.
It is just crazy.
And there's not enough people who are like, I'm not going to buy games for these systems anymore because I want physical. Most purchases are digital. We do like convenience. It makes things easier. That's why technology has been so great. Because it makes things easier.
I guess.
You know, how many people wash their dishes by hand anymore? Not that many. Not that often.
My wife does. She hates a
All-
dishwasher.
Well, that's her choice, but that's what I said. I didn't say everyone. I said not many. Same thing with the washing machine. I don't know very many people who have a wash tub and a washboard. They
Oh
have a washing
wow.
machine and a dryer. Well, Drake said, I'm not going to buy movies anymore. Pirate, sail the seas. Yeah, when my wife and I got married, we lived in an apartment and it didn't have a dishwasher and it only had one sink, or only had one basin. So we had to buy a little plastic tub that I could put the water in, put it off to the side, put the soap in it, and wash the dishes in there, then move them into the sink and rinse them off, and then put them someplace to dry. But the convenience of not having to do that is great.
Oh well.
But I mean, physical, it's just the way it's going, because eventually it's not going to make sense for even Nintendo to keep pushing stuff out physically.
Yeah, once Nintendo goes, I think it's the real bastion of physical is gonna be dead.
But part of the problem is the game size. The size of games has gotten ridiculous. They don't optimize it. They keep a bunch of information in that isn't needed. Cinematics take up a ton of space. It's like, when the games get to a certain point, they're not going to fit on one disc. They're not going to fit on two or three. And I actually posted in somebody's Discord, like, why can't we just have stuff with multiple discs? And it's like, are you willing to pay $10 more for an extra disc, or $20 more for an extra disc? Yeah, that's taking a while to load.
That's pretty dumb. But
that's why drive-through lines wrapped around building and no one inside, convenience of being faster. Yep. People don't want to get out of their vehicle even though it might be quicker. Yep,
I get out. And I don't. I skip the drive-through. I think the drive-through is stupid.
You might if you see that the drive-through line is long, but
I always skip the drive-through.
I've seen drive-through lines that are so long they block the road because people are lazy. They want the convenience of just, especially now, you order on your app and you drive in, get in the drive-through lane, and then you pull up and get your food. However long it takes to do that, instead of going in and grabbing it. Chick-fil-A has two drive-through lines. Try to get people through quicker.
Oh, you have Chick-fil-A?
This is the South, buddy.
Raising Cane's?
Yep. And actually, there should be a Raising Cane's within walking distance in the next year or two of where I work.
Is Raising Cane's really that good?
I don't know. To me, it's all foul.
Or does that mean it's chicken?
Chicken foul, yes. They always get the order wrong. Quite frequently, they do. I think it's gotten pretty good though, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I wonder if Microsoft's just standing back and be like, okay, we're going to see how much flack Sony gets for this before we make any kind of similar announcement. Which, with the Project Helix, I think they're planning going all digital. But I mean, I think with that, they just need to, like, we're not going to release any new systems because the price of them now is just too much. We need to wait until the prices of some of the stuff comes down. We'll continue to make the hardware that we've got and not spend a bunch of money on getting out systems that aren't needed and are just going to be too costly anyways.
I get it.
Yeah. Like I don't plan on running out and picking up a bunch of physical games because the sky is going to start falling. There's alternatives to all of this stuff. Some of it legal, some of it not so legal. You know, pick your poison and your passion or whatever, but
This is all just crazy. And I've said it before. We've spoken about this, physical media and stuff like that. But logically, you have to. I mean, like with the video games and stuff like this, logically, you have to look at it as a uh like liquid uh expendable income, meaning that it's it's how the hell do I put this in a sense that makes sense? It's like, oh wow, I need money. These games are insane. I'm going to whatever. Because as much as I love Dinosaur Peak and I think it's a great game and everything like that, I do own a Mister. I can play it on the Mister. If that game hits like $3,000 for that game and my label is in pristine condition, I'm going to cash in, and I would rather see like 2,200 in a bank account than have it sitting in a game. And that is the reality of collecting as well. As these games are going up and up and up, yes, you don't look at them as an investment, but it is liquid currency where you could take it and just, change it around and play it whatever. Are there
well,
certain
they do have a value associated with them. And I mean, I've looked at selling. I don't remember how, but I was looking at something and saw Fantasy Star for the Master System is going for like 120, $130 complete, and I'm like, I've
that's
got it for the Mark
crazy.
III also, so I don't think I need to hold on to my Master System version. So I'm thinking about selling that just because it's like, well, I can still play it on this other system, and I don't need to hold on to something that's worth that. But I haven't made any moves to sell it. So
It's just I really feel that with Sony doing this, games like PS1, PS2, PS3, and PS3 systems that are backwards compatible, the Vita games are really going to go up in price. I think Sony especially is a lot like Nintendo, yes, but Nintendo, like, you could, for the games. I mean, for Nintendo, it's like they have all their games on a subscription service. Sony's subscription service for the old games sucks. Nintendo has a better game than they do when it comes to that. Sony subscription, like if I want to play these games or whatever it is, if you don't have a Rockstar internet connection, it is miserable because you're streaming all of them. You're streaming now, you're streaming Nintendo's games as well, but they're not as graphic intensive as Sony's games, like a PS2 or a PS3 game, and even a PS1. So it's like, you know, I, I mean, you need a really, really good internet connection for it, and it it stinks because if Sony says I don't want the game anymore, you're gone. That's it. How are you going to play them?
But I mean, that's the same thing with Nintendo service. If they decide, oh, this game's been on here for a couple of years, we're gonna go ahead and pull it off. They're gonna go do the old Disney route where we're gonna put this movie in the vault, and you're not gonna be able to buy it anymore for a few years. That's their prerogative. They own the properties. They can do whatever they want with them.
Since the Mario movie came out, the two Mario movies, they have wiped the existence of the John Leguizamo movie from the 90s off the face of the earth. You cannot find it on any streaming service out there at all. Fandango, nothing. Nothing has it. Go look because I know you have Fandango. You will not find it.
I don't think they had it before the movies.
It's just, and that's what people are like. Meteor Man. I like Meteor Man. I can't find Meteor Man anymore, so I have to buy the VHS. Hackers. I would love to have the VHS for Hackers. It's just it's becoming insane. And I think the games that we own are going to go up and up in price.
But what does that matter? The games that you already have.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just nice knowing that we had, the collection of stuff is going up.
But why? Why is it nice to know that the game they're getting more expensive?
I don't know. It's just because our collection is going to grow and grow, and we're going to be, we're going to be sitting here, and this is going to be like the new stamp collection or the new trains or the new whatever it is, and we're going to be sitting on all this physical media where we could just pull the game, put it in a system, and play. Now that's another thing. We're going to have to also take care of our systems very well because as we go on, the systems like the Super Nintendo, Genesis, and everything else, those are going to have to get recapped. They're going to have to get cleaned, then maintenance, then everything else. Because if they blow, it's going to be very hard to try to find newer systems. So,
well, that's why clone systems are nice because I mean, eventually they're all going to stop working. But the thing is, the cartridge and the discs are going to start failing also. Did I tell you what happened to a game I bought over a year ago?
No.
The Xbox One. I bought it, got it home, installed it, tested it. It worked great. After I got the Series X, probably we'll say a month, 2 months ago, I had started installing it on the Series X. So I'm playing as it's installing. Well, I get several levels into the game, and then I can't play the next level because it's having issues installing it from the disc. Like, okay, so I take out the disc and clean it off. Look at it, it's like, okay, I don't see any deep scratches. Put it back in, do that a couple times. Nothing was working. I was like, okay. All right. So, do a quick hold up to the light. I don't see anything. Hold it up in front of a light, and I see pinpoints of light shining through the disc. So the disc has disc rot now.
No.
It did not have it a year ago when I installed it on the Xbox One. So it could not finish installing on the Xbox Series X. So I took the disc and I put it in the Xbox One so it could read the license. And since it was already installed, I was able to finish the game. But that disc has disc rot. I have Saturn discs that have disc rot. So the stuff
That's
eventually is not going to work at all. And it may not be in our lifetimes, but this stuff was never meant to last a long time. And I imagine that if companies had known in the 80s and 90s how much interest there was going to be in this old stuff or the retro,
they would have made it
they would
last
have made
longer.
it so this stuff would not have lasted as long as it has. Because they don't make any money off us playing these old games.
I really hope that happens to this one. This is one of my favorite games.
Physical isn't some magical lasting thing, forever thing. Wii U discs are notoriously known to be defective already. And it's like, okay, should I just go ahead and sell a bunch of these discs so I don't have to worry about it? You know, it becomes somebody else's problem if it's not in my collection anymore.
Such good
Um,
games.
I can't see what that
Sony
says.
uh Sony pulling 100 PlayStation customers who lost the digital movies is Adam Sandler. Physical collectors. It's like my Instagram just I don't
It's for collectors, it's a big deal. But for most people, it's not. Like I was kind of taken aback when I asked the guy at work who's mid late 20s what he thought, and he's like, "I don't care. I buy most of my games. I buy my games digitally." Like it didn't mean anything to him, and I was like, "Huh?
I think
So
I
you
think
don't care about owning the game?" He's like, "Nah." It's like, okay,
I'm not gonna kill myself reaching over the desk, but I think it's now time, Awaz. I think it's time you start doing this one.
I don't know what I'm looking at.
That's Chrono Trigger. I think you should be. I think you should get on this the bandwagon and be like, I'm playing retro and we're doing Chrono Trigger, and that's
I do play retro. I was playing retro so much that you have to have a CRT to play it.
oh my god, this is just everybody. Oh, Netflix raising their prices again, and this guy's showing off all VHS tapes. This is just, I can't believe how much this is coming.
I have actually thought about if my YouTube channel ever hits 1,000 of doing a poll and be like, all right, I could play Final Fantasy VII or I'll play Chrono Trigger and let people decide.
Um, I think us as like retro collectors. I think us as just video game collectors in general are really at the top advantage of this bull with Sony. Even like Drake with the Mr. Lego with like what he has, with the stuff you have, Fat Russ with what you have, and like all the other people that you and I know in our circles, like what all they have and everything else. Um
What do
it's
you
we're at the top because we are not so we are not going to be owned by Sony or any of these companies where it's like, you know, hey, listen, like, oh, no more physical, whatever it is, like this. Who cares? This actually might push me to play massive amounts of backlog that I have and put games in and just play games and games and games and games that I have. I might even hook up the Vectrex and play the Vectrex. I mean, because I don't like, the thing is that when you download digital, it's you download digital, you have it, okay. And like I was talking to you before, for me, downloading digital, like if I download a Resident Evil game, okay, I will do that digitally because I play it once, I'm done. The jump scares are over with. I know where everything is coming out, and I already know the story. For me, there's no replayability. Now I know for dad level, he says no, there is a replayability. I'm gonna go in and see if I can do all the challenges. So for me, moving forward after Requiem, I probably will not buy another Resident Evil physical. But that's because of the type of game that it is. But the RPGs I will buy physically. Okay, I mean that's what it is. For us collecting this wave of, oh, everything is now digital, we can go in our collections, pull a physical game out, play it, and we're not stuck with that. Oh, we have to be a slave to this for Sony, and we, physical and all that other stuff. We own our games. We can play them whenever we want. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, like I said, this is gonna push me to Nintendo.
But Nintendo's eventually going to go the same way, unless they put restrictions on. Okay, your game can't be bigger than X, Y, or Z, which they kind of did with the game key card. It's like
Right.
if your game is bigger than this size, it has to be on a game key card. And since Nintendo has said all of their first party titles are going to be on the card, Nintendo games aren't going to be able to get bigger than their biggest SD card. But then technology could come along that makes it more affordable to make bigger game keys or game cards. So, and I mean, technically, they could just keep adding memory chips to a game card. Make it
I
bigger, kind of like the TurboGrafx did when they had your Hue card, but then what was it, one of the Street Fighter games? It was a Hue card still, but it was built up so that they could put in extra memory chips.
I just find it crazy.
I mean, I don't know if I find it crazy. I think it's interesting how much attention it's gotten. But I don't know.
I can't. I'm gonna sit. I'm gonna laugh when these people are complaining. Sony just pulled these games. I can't play them anymore. What am I gonna do? And I'm you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be like,
You're gonna throw
yeah,
all of your cases down on the ground and act like you're swimming in them like Scrooge McDuck in his money bin.
yeah. That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
And then they come and burn your house down and all your games are burnt, and they're gonna say, "What are you gonna do now? They're gone. Guess what? I have to have all my games digitally on my console or on the cloud, so now I can go download them."
You know what's really gonna be cool though? The Polymega. That's gonna push the Polymega now because people with all these massive collections, they're gonna be like, wow, I can just put everything on one system and just play them like that. Oh, that's that.
But see, that takes out having to insert the cartridge.
The Polymega is not flawless. You still have to insert the cartridges on some games.
But it also like it depends on how collectors want to play their games, if they're playing their games at all, because it's not a one size fits all for retro gaming or retro collecting.
I'm gonna. I'm definitely gonna look for games that I want, pick them up, and that's it. And that's I could care less. All I know is GameStop's gonna die.
No,
How
like
so?
walk into a GameStop and how much of what you see in the store is video games? Maybe a half
Oh, I
if
saw a
you're
video on
lucky.
this. It's more collectible garbage.
It's collectibles, it's trading card games, action figures. There's some Lego sets in there. There's sports cards now.
Yeah, that's
But they've
true.
been doing that because they knew physical games are not going to be around forever. But I mean, what Best Buy, Target, Walmart, they're all cutting their sections down for gaming smaller, 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 and smaller. The exact same thing happened to PC games. The first time I walked into a GameStop and I could not find the PC section and I had to ask where it was, and like, oh, it's over in that on that shelf down on the bottom. It was a shelf. And I was like, oh, this is the future. Not just of
I just
PC
think this
games,
is all.
but of consoles.
I don't know. I think what we grew up with is gone to the pooper.
Well, what we grew up with is still there. Things have changed, and the next generation, it doesn't matter to them.
All I know is CDs. I'm gonna like movies. I'm gonna start collecting again, and VHS tapes. I'm definitely gonna collect. VHS tapes is a plus.
Are you going to watch the VHS tapes, or are you just going to put them on the shelf and
No, I'm gonna watch
retire the
them.
spine?
I'm gonna watch them. I have the thing right here. I'm gonna have them on this TV, and I'm gonna watch them while I play games. I'm gonna have a VHS tape on, and watch VHS tapes.
Cool.
No, I'm very big into like VHS stuff. I'm very big into like VHS, and collecting VHS should be kind of fun. I mean, it does get expensive, but
And
collecting,
it's going to take up more space than gaming.
that's true. But I always will collect games.
But see, earlier you talked about you don't like having to manage the storage on the consoles with all this digital stuff. The the inverse of that, or the opposite of that, is you have to manage your physical space with all the stuff that you have.
Physical space for me is easier than going in there and managing games because if I delete a game off of a system, I may never get that game back ever again. Because if Sony pulls, here's a perfect example. I have uh Raccoon Umbrella Corps on my PlayStation, and I bought that. I have it downloaded. If I delete that game off of the PlayStation, I will not be able to re-download that game from my catalog. I
Why?
don't know. I don't know. They just
I would
Umbrella
I would
Corp.
look into it because you should be able to download it again.
That is one game I would buy physically because I do enjoy that game. I could play it on Steam all I want, but PlayStation, nope.
I would look into why you can't download it again. But not every game is that, and just like every physical game, I would say not every physical game is worth owning. Like the games that you play once and you're done with, it's like, do you really need to hold on to a physical game that you're never going to play again? Or would having it digitally be okay or acceptable? Because once you beat it, you're done. You can delete it. You're not going to go back to the game. Bye bye.
I love that game. I thought it was a great game.
But it's also knowing that, how much are you willing to pay for that game? Is it worth $60 if you're only going to play it once? Probably
Umbrella
not.
Corps, I have about 100 hours into it.
No, I just mean in general. Games that you pick up, you play once, and you burn through it in 5 hours, 20 hours, whatever. What's the price point that it has to hit to make it worth playing through it once and then deleting it?
That also reminds
Or
me too, the new Final Fantasy that's supposed to come out, the last installment of Final Fantasy. Does that mean that it's going to be the last, probably the last physical Final Fantasy copy that ever comes out in the world ever again? And that's going to raise the price up of that like
unless they
drastically.
print 20 billion copies of it, they're going to milk that one for as much as they can. These businesses are first in the business to make money. And they do that by making games.
So we'll see.
But okay, well, if they release future Final Fantasy games on the Switch 2 or whatever Nintendo console, what does that mean? You could have the next 5 iterations of Final Fantasy come out on a physical medium, but just not for Sony or Microsoft. Does it make that big of a difference? Not really.
It really isn't. No.
I mean, I don't think like GameStop, Walmart, Target, Best Buy, all of the stores that sell games, they will move on to either just selling the digital code cards or they'll fill that space with something else. Maybe they'll expand it so that they can have more TVs or what is it? Maybe there'll be clone consoles. I mean, who knows? Because once, like, they don't have to worry about upsetting Microsoft and Sony by putting in these clone consoles. Like, oh well, now we can cater to the retro market. So let's go get some Hyperkin and all these other things to put into the stores. Will they expand it and put in more Lego, or oh well, here's where we'll put whatever the new fad is. So here's the Lulumon or Luluro or whatever the Labobo Labubu toys.
Oh God, those
were.
dumbass things.
I
Those
mean,
things
I
are
don't see
so
it.
stupid.
GameStop has already been making the switch, so this will just force them to do it quicker. But then they'll just become a used game store where you can also buy point cards and maybe game cards, but maybe they'll just like, we don't care about the game cards. They don't sell enough. We just need to sell the point cards because you take the point card home, you scratch it off, you put in the code, and then you just buy it through the digital storefront. Instead of putting in the code to get the game, you put the code in to get the money, and then you buy the game.
It's all crazy.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I said, it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks. But I mean, the sky's not falling. It's not the end of the world. Like LP said earlier, it's not the end of gaming. It's a shift on how we see things. But the shift has already been happening. When 85% of their sales are already digital, like we're already over the tipping point and have been for several years. I mean, we should probably actually be somewhat appreciative that they held on as long as they did.
I guess I agree with you on that one. Yeah, it's just gonna push me for Nintendo, and that's what it comes down to.
Which one's the M64? Is that the Hyperkin? It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine.
AYN. This is all craziness.
But also, at the end of the day, it's not life changing. It's nothing that, if it all went away tomorrow, everyone would still go on and be okay.
I guess. I mean, I
think
guess.
Drake mentioned EMP earlier. If an EMP comes by and blasts everything, well, there goes all of the consoles.
Yay!
So all of the plastic discs and plastic and circuit boards and microchips that we've got in all of these cartridges would be paperweights, absolutely useless. Yeah, that's what I was asking, if it was the Hyperkin version of the N64, because I know they've been working on one. Just, it's a cheaper clone console comparatively. Different company.
This is just crazy.
But why is it crazy? It's the way it was going to go. Mod Retro. Okay. Hence the M. I don't think it's crazy. I just think it was natural.
It's natural. Coming.
We may not like it, but I just think it's just interesting that, like, looking at all the recommended videos as I was looking at YouTube, and all of a sudden everyone had a video on it, and here we are doing a podcast on it.
And here it is. Hashtag save the disc and hashtag physical media. And it's blowing up all of all of Instagram and TikTok is just completely blowing up over this.
Yeah. And we'll see if, like, next week nobody's talking about it.
Yes, it is the hottest topic right now. Everybody's doing all of this.
It's just a hot topic right now. And yeah, it's not just PlayStation, because Microsoft has been going in that direction, and even Nintendo's going in that direction, because more than half of their sales are digital. Nintendo's the last holdout, but they put a lot of stuff on discs. Hold on, the M64 is gonna be $200. Ouch! Ooh.
The what?
The M64.
What's
Mod
that?
Retro N64. You have not been paying attention. Quit playing with your phone.
I've been looking at all this stuff from Sony.
It's a clone.
Mod Retro?
Made by Mod Retro.
They have an N64 out for analog.
Yeah, but Mod Retro will be cheaper.
Game key is just a digital key. You're right. It is.
Yep. But so are discs for most modern games, or a lot of modern games.
It's just at the end. I mean, it's just with physical media. I'll just sit here and be like, "Yeah, I could like pull something off the shelf or whatever it is. I won't have to worry about them taking it away from me."
The game key is better than straight digital.
Yeah, the game key is better. I've heard.
Well, no, it's, you can take it and you can trade it in and you can sell it. Whereas a digital code, you can't do that. Once you use a digital code, it's done. So out of the two, I'd take the game key card over any code in a box. Yep. Well, M's, that's one of the reasons why I think that the 360 or the 7th gen was the peak of gaming. because you were starting to get into the online stuff and DLC and digital games for consoles, but the game is playable off the disc, and you didn't have to install it because it would be great if you could take a modern game, stick it in your console, and just start playing it. But no, you have to install it now, and you might only have to install 20% of it or something before you can play it. But you still don't get to come home, pop in your game and play it. You got to come home, pop it in, and wait. Or 7th gen, you didn't have to do that. You could come home, pop the game in, and it was later in the life cycle where you could install it. But you could come home, play it, and then when you had to go off and do something else for a bit, you could be, all right, go ahead and install while I go eat dinner or whatever.
There's nothing special on the PlayStation 5 that I really care about. There's nothing special on the 4 that I really care about. So, I mean, it really just... the 2 and the 3. The 3 had some good games. The 4 was whatever.
Well,
The 5...
I would say Expedition 33 is one of the exceptions to, nothing to play, because, to me, that was a really good game. I actually bought it at full price. But for the most part, no, there's nothing on the consoles this generation. And even last generation wasn't all that great.
There was really nothing to run out and get the PlayStation 5 for that you needed to play like immediately. I don't remember really. Horizon was groundbreaking.
But what is the larger install base saying about that? Because we're not necessarily the target audience anymore, because we're in the smaller end of the target of the gaming population. Kids in their 20s and 30s are more the target than old men.
But that's all they do is play the stupid games. Silent Hill on PlayStation 5. Silent Hill was good on PlayStation 5. You're right about that, but it's just...
Well, it's like Halo Infinite and Halo Guardians and stuff. They were okay games. They were fun to play, but they weren't Halo 3.
I didn't like Astrobot. I said something else with another S on it, but I did not like Astrobot. My kid played Astrobot, and he got bored of it.
Astrobot was a fancy tech demo. I thought it looked nice. That's basically it. Like I said, the thing is, okay, outside of actually owning it and having it physically, outside of that, are we losing anything else from not having physical media?
Losing our ownership of everything.
Well, losing what?
We're losing our ownership.
I said outside of that. What are we losing? Or is that just it? That's it. It's just the ownership. The ownership is the thing.
The ownership is really the thing. The ownership is the thing. I'm looking at all these videos and everyone's talking about physical media and everything. And the major consensus with the physical media and stuff is that, like, you guys are, we want, like, there are still people that want physical media.
But they're the minority, not the majority. And even in that minority, there's not enough people who will be like, you know what, we're just not going to buy anything. We're not going to have anything to do with PlayStation because we don't like what they're about to do.
I have a, like I said, if we started this, I have a feeling that one, our retro stuff and all our physical stuff is going to go up. And two, it's because now you're going to have people that are going to be that are going to want games. The games are going to be huge. They're going to have to delete games off the system, but then they're going to be like, oh, well, once this happens and Sony says, oh, we're pulling these games and you don't own these games you bought this game, but you don't own it anymore. People are then going to jump to physical media and be like, I want to buy games.
When do you expect Sony to start being like, oh, we're pulling these games that you had licenses to?
Oh, they're going to do it like within the next year.
Why?
Because they're going to be pulling games off of the market.
Where are you? This is this just your premonition?
So they've already removed movies off of whatever.
That is licensing issues. That is the license that they made with somebody else from a license holder. The thing is, with the games on the store, they are the license holder. Now, when things like we talked about Outrun earlier, when Sega lost the license for like I said, I think it was Ferrari, they could no longer sell that game, so it had to be taken down digitally. That's not gonna. That's a separate issue than like Sony's not going to be pulling off first party titles.
I mean, I could see that.
It would be third party titles that have a licensing issue outside of that.
I could see that. I found this all like just it really comes down to the fact of they're trying to control you with saying, okay, you're not allowed physical media anymore. And it really pushes like a lot of collectors to have problems with stuff.
It does. But are the collectors willing to do something about it? Because what they're saying is you can't have physical on our console. That's all they're saying. They're not saying you can't have physical. They're saying you cannot have physical anymore on our consoles. Are the collectors and the gamers going to be like, well, if we can't have that, we are taking our money and going someplace else where we
I will have to see and how the sales go.
Seeing as how 80% of their business is already digital, it's not going to matter.
It's not, because it's all the kids that play run and gun games. Whatever. We have all our physical stuff. I think once you have to understand that the digital space for Sony is going to eat up a lot. Because if you have all of these games now, you have to have a massive amount of storage to have the game.
Hold on. And then who Sony has to, or your console needs to?
Okay. So Sony has data centers.
Yes.
That hold the games at data centers. So
and how many copies of those games do you think each data center has?
I don't know.
Okay, say every game is 200 gigs.
Uh-huh.
The data centers might have multiple copies so that they can send them out to multiple services. But they're not going to have, each server is not going to have that 200 gig game.
Right, but you're going to have all the new games in these data centers. And then you're going to have all the games that like Sony's premium subscription has in these data centers and stuff. So Sony is eventually going to run out of space, and it's going to cost them more money.
That's why they add servers, but then they also take off. So say all the servers in the farm have every game. This game's been out for 5 years. We don't need it to be on every machine anymore. Let's pull it, instead of having it on 100 servers, let's take it down to having it on 10 or maybe even 1. Okay, look, we just freed up all this space across all of them. It's not that different than what we do when our consoles get full. Okay, let me take off this game I'm not playing right now.
See, like what M said is that it could just be cloud service where you're buying the game and then you could just stream it to the system.
Yeah.
So now your physical download even goes away. And people are really going to, I mean, now what happens?
It's still going to be a vocal minority. Most people don't care. Most people just want to play their game or watch their movie or listen to their music. That's it.
My friend got burned once by he had a Spotify or something. And he had one CD or something on Spotify that he, whatever, he tried it out. So he built out an entire playlist, and half his playlist went away because sometimes artists are just like, oh, I just don't want my music in my list, and they just remove music from their list that they have. So he said, screw it, and he owns 4,000 CDs, and he has an array of 2 terabyte drives each. I think he has like 12 terabytes of music filled with nothing but music, and he just has all of this game music, all this everything that he's buying game CDs, he's buying music CDs. He just buys and buys and buys all this stuff. He has 4,000 CDs worth of music. And that's his thing. He's like, I don't want to be owned. Like I if I want to listen to a song, I want to own it and I want to listen to the song, and nobody has the right to take the song away from me. But he's all digital when it comes to gaming because he doesn't care. He cares more his music wise. Me, I don't give a crap about the music. I have Spotify. I care about the physical because I don't want you taking the game away from me that I want to play.
And then there's people that don't care about either. And then there's people that care about both.
So
it's all dependent upon the individual. But by the sales numbers, most people, the majority of people, do not care about physical. If they can buy it digitally and get it for whatever price digitally, digital is the way that most games are sold on the consoles.
I just think this is, it's a sad time for a lot of things.
Now, if all of a sudden, like, okay, everything's going to digital, but we're going to reduce the price of the games now by $10 each. So instead of doing the $80 games, now we're going to move it back down to $70. Everyone will be all happy about it. Not everyone, but a lot of people would probably be happy about it.
I think a lot of people are just annoyed with all of this. But then again, like you said, it's just the collectors. So,
yep, it's just the collectors and people that care about physical. Prices of games are probably going to spike for a bit, especially ones that are highly sought after. They're not doing what?
The value of physical games are going to go like through the roof.
They're not going to go through the roof. Most games might see a small bump. I'm not expecting $20 games to all of a sudden be $40 or $50. But the ones that are highly sought after, I didn't say that's what they were going to do, Em. I said they might. And they probably won't because they know most people will pay the prices. Nintendo is a perfect example of that. That's why Nintendo no longer does Nintendo Selects or player choice games, because they know they don't need to. Because people will pay $50 or $70 for a 3-year-old Mario title.
You don't think physical games are going to go up because of this?
No, I'm saying they're not going to skyrocket overall. Some here and there might, but most games aren't going to get crazy prices. You're not going to get, what's an average like Sonic and Sonic 2 are not going to all of a sudden be $150 because of physical media. They're not. Maybe it'll go up from 25 to 30,
I see this.
but they're not going to all of a sudden be crazy prices.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna be like, you know, like crazy prices either. I think this is gonna be, I think there is gonna be a bump in Vita and PS3 sales starting like real soon, and then from there, PlayStation 5 at the end era of next year, PlayStation 5 at the end of this year, PlayStation 5 games. A lot of people are going to sell them for more money because PlayStation 5 is going to be going out the window with physical games.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't know how true that is, Ems, because if anything, outside of Nintendo, the thing is, Nintendo has the first party titles that people want to play. Like they have the cream of the crop first party titles.
They
I don't
do.
think there's any doubt in that. But consoles are becoming too much like PCs, and it's getting to the point where like, why do I need a console when I can just get a
We just have a
PC?
PC.
And console sales for digital games don't come near Steam sales and Humble Bundle sales and all the different ways that you can buy games on the PC.
You really think? Oh yeah, well that's true.
And I'm not sure what you mean. Apps keep going up, and now they have commercials. You have a bunch of free apps that have commercials, but I don't have any paid apps that have commercials. Oh, yeah, you weren't here when I was talking about a guy I work with who's in his mid-20s, maybe late 20s, and I asked him about this, and he said he had no issue with it, doesn't care. And I was like, kind of taken aback. I was like, well, it doesn't mean anything to him. Oh, well, Disney Plus, Peacock, HBO. Guess what? People are dumb and keep paying for them. As soon as Amazon Video or Amazon Prime, they added commercials to Amazon Video, I canceled my Amazon Prime subscription.
Yeah, that's another thing that was BS with that.
Disney Plus added commercials in. I don't watch Disney Plus anymore. I'm not paying for a subscription that I have to watch commercials for. If it's a free service, if it is a no charge service, I will watch commercials. But there's too many people that don't care. They're like they whine and complain about it, but then they keep paying for it.
Yeah, and they keep paying and paying and paying, and they keep
Yeah.
on doing the same thing because they know people are going to pay.
And and in my opinion, most people do subscription services for TV shows and stuff wrong. You should have one, maybe two services going at a time. And when you finish watching the stuff that you want on one service, you cancel it. And then you swap it over for a different one. And when you're done with one of those or both of them, you cancel them both. And then you get a different one.
That makes sense.
Or you cancel all of them and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to watch my physical media that I've got if you have a library of such. The problem is people do not put their money with their mouth where their mouth is, and they will not vote with their wallet. You mean GTA 6?
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that with GTA 6 and stuff like that, it shouldn't be that much money because there's no physical game included and you're just a digital download. So they believe that the price should be cheaper.
They don't get to set the price. And you know it's going to sell like hotcakes. The funny thing is you can pay $100 for the complete version. You can pay $80 for the incomplete version.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, and it's just a code and people are going to pay, and they know people are going to pay. So why should they go through the trouble and effort of putting it on discs?
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, maybe in a year, go, okay, now we're going to release a physical copy. It's up for pre-order, and we're going to print however many are pre-ordered, and that's it. If there's only 10,000 pre-ordered, that's great. That's what we'll print. If there's 1 million that are pre-ordered, that's great. That's what we'll print. If there's only 5 that are pre-ordered, well, we're going to cancel it because it's not worth it.
That's just so.
And that might be the way it goes. It's like, okay, the disc comes out 6 to 9 to 12 months after the game is released. They've got all the patches out so that it works, and it's like, okay, now we can put the game on the disc, and you can have all your information on it. But it's going to be a premium price. Or now you can get your collector's edition. So you get your game on the disc, and then they'll give you a code for more outfits.
Hey, collector's editions have been slacking anyway, so
collector's editions generally aren't worth it. They give you a bunch of crap that you're not going to do anything with. You end up putting it back in the box and putting the box away.
And putting it on the shelves.
Yeah. Or you put it in a closet because you got nowhere to put it.
That's true. So,
but okay, here's a question. Come up with a reason why physical media is overrated. Find something from the other side of the argument. Why is physical media overrated? And that in chat, if you've got something to add to it, like I'd love to hear what people's thoughts are. I just had this thought. Why is physical media overrated? Specifically with games. It just what's something that you can come up with? Why is physical media overrated?
Just takes up too much space.
Okay, takes up too much space. Anything else?
That's about it. It just takes up too much space.
Yeah, M said the same thing. Because it sits on your shelf. Because it can be lost. It can be stolen.
There's no way you can play all those games. Yeah.
It can be destroyed. But the thing is, you can't play, you can play all those games. The same thing can be said with digital games. I mean, I've got more digital games that I can play just on Steam. I mean, I have around 400 games on Steam digitally. I have over 300 games on the 360 digitally. And the Steam games doesn't include the 100 or so codes that I haven't used that are probably expiring. But like
a physical is just disc rod, takes up too much space. I mean, you break the CD, you have to go out and buy another one.
Well, and in the case of the disc, it's like, well, they're kind of sensitive.
I mean, how much money can GameStop really make on that broken disc stuff that they try to sell you the disc protection for like 2 years?
Oh, I don't know how much they charge because they probably don't have to use it very often. Oh, we're all part of the problem.
That's true.
Part of the problem. Because we'll justify spending too much or not enough or nothing or for something because we feel like it's justified.
All right. Let's see. It is 1:10. I think we should call.
Yeah, GameStop's now more a collectible stop. Yep. But they knew and saw which way the wind was blowing, and they were making a shift. Can't blame them. That's why they added back in GameStop Retro. If we need to wrap it up.
Yeah, if I don't know about you, but yeah, I got to get up at 8:30 tomorrow morning.
Oh. The AES Plus is looking pretty sweet. I think Sane and I did a podcast on that.
Yes, they are making physical. They're making physical games, but I don't think there's enough people who even give a damn about the AES or had an AES growing up in order to.
Well, it'll be interesting to see when it launches in November. I mean, I've never had one, but if they get it so that you can get the AE Plus Ultimate package in the United States from Amazon, I will probably be pre-ordering one.
It'd be worth it.
I mean, I think this is going to push me to look at more Evercade cartridges.
I'm gonna probably go for Switch too.
It's a home console. It's great. Plug it into your TV. The consoles are not crazy expensive. I think it's $120 for the edition that comes with Lara Croft. So there's alternatives out there, and much more affordable alternatives. Like I said, the Evercade console is fairly cheap comparatively, and the game cartridges are $30 or $40. I think they're $30 brand new.
The AES holds its value a lot, and the games hold its value a lot. So, but all right.
I think you have to have 2 certain cartridges to unlock some of the games. Yeah, it's $30 for the cartridges, and you get a handheld version for $200. So, and there's I don't know how many cartridges there are, but each one has 2 to 12 games, I think. That one has 13, that one has 12, 7, 6, and 9. I don't have a lot, but I've got a few. But all right, we're gonna wrap it up. Sayan's getting tired. Apparently, he's the old.
We'll be here tomorrow.
But we'll be here tomorrow. Tomorrow night on Sega Dudes, we're going to talk about the Sonic reproduction carts that are $100 each, and probably talk about the Xbox and other studios rumored layoffs and whatnot. Bungie. But thanks for hanging out, everyone. It's good to see you, Ems. Drake, LP. Thanks for stopping in, Fat Russ. Hope you all have a good night. If we don't see y'all, have a safe and happy 4th of July. Let freedom ring, and keep it Sega. Oh, yeah.